Good morning, Standard 9th. So, in the last class, we studied about health and unemployment. And today we will study consequences of unemployment and few important concerns or indicators related to health scenario of our economy. But before starting with today's class, let us just have a quick recapitulation of what we studied in the previous class. So students, we studied about health, that it helps us to realize our potential and ability to fight illness. Our government has initiated many policies that aims at family welfare and nutritional services. But then these facilities are not evenly distributed in the country. There are 381 medical colleges in the country and 301 dental colleges. And just 4 states like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu have maximum number of colleges. And then we studied about unemployment, that it is a situation when people who are willing to work, have ability to work and are ready to accept the prevailing wages but are still not getting a job. After that, we studied about types of unemployment. So students, there are 3 types that you have to study, that is seasonal, disguised and educated. And out of these, the first 2 are mostly found in rural areas and educated unemployment is most likely to be found in urban areas. Seasonal unemployment, it happens when people are not able to find jobs during some months of the year. Then disguised unemployment, it is a situation in which surplus labor are engaged than required, and even if few members will be removed, it won't affect the total production. And lastly, we studied about educated unemployment. It occurs when a person is educated but is not able to find a suitable and efficient job for himself. Now, let us study what are the consequences of unemployment. So students, here are few points. Let us go through it. Point number 1, it leads to wastage of manpower resource. So students, we know that many people who are capable of working and can help in the development of country are sitting idle at home. So students, there are people who have the ability to work and they can be an asset for the country, but then because of unemployment, they are liability for the economy. Point number 2, there is a feeling of hopelessness and despair among the youth. Students, unemployed people may suffer from depression or other mental health issues as they have to struggle to meet the necessities of the family. Point number 3, people do not have enough money to support their family. Students, this we all know that unemployed people are not able to earn anything to feed their family and meet their family's requirements. Point number 4, inability of educated people who are willing to work implies a great social waste. Students, we studied in educated unemployment that many people with graduate and postgraduate degrees cannot find job, and this is harmful for the society, as we know that society also gains from the educated people because they serve the society in various ways, and if people are not employed, then that is a social waste. And the last point, point number 5, it increases economic overload. So as we discussed that unemployed people don't earn any money and so they are dependent on the working population, and this increases the economic overload of a country because the country has to look after so many citizens who are not involved in any economic activity and are just sitting idle at home. Students, if we talk about India, then statistically unemployment rate is low. Why? Because a large number of people, even if they are earning very little, they are counted as employed. Students, if we talk about seasonal unemployment, then there are people who are not working throughout the year. Or if we talk about disguised unemployment, then there are people who seem to be working but are actually not affecting the production. But students, all these people are counted as employed. Whatever they are earning is not adequate. They earn very little amount and still they are counted as employed. And that is why the unemployment rate in our country is so low. Students, it is not that these people are doing such jobs because they want to. They are doing it because they are forced to do so, as they don't have any other option and they cannot afford to sit idle at home. They need to earn something to keep them on a bare subsistence level. Bare subsistence level means standard of living that provides the minimum necessities of life. So whatever for living, whatever minimum requirements is needed, these people are just able to fulfill those minimum necessities. Students, we have studied that there is disguised unemployment in the primary sector, especially in agriculture. But because more members are involved in the production process than required, the work of each member is divided. But students, that doesn't reduces the poverty of the family or of the people who are involved. Because as we know that there are extra people working on the field, that doesn't mean that there will be more income because they are not affecting the produce. And students, gradually the surplus labor started migrating from the village to towns or cities in search of jobs. Let us discuss about the employment scenario in the primary, secondary and tertiary sector. So students, we know that agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector. Today also, if we talk about India, so we say that India is an agricultural economy. Majority of the population is involved in agricultural sector. But the dependence of people on agriculture has reduced to certain extent in past few years. Because as I told you all that people have started migrating to cities and they have started working in industries, that is secondary sector, or have also started taking up various service generating jobs, that is tertiary sector. Now let us discuss this box. Students, this is given on page number 23 of your NCERT textbook. So as I told you all that our government has taken various initiatives in improving the accessibility of healthcare, family welfare and nutritional services of citizens. And because of that, many improvements have taken place. Let us have a look at those improvements. Number 1, life expectancy has increased to over 68.3 years in 2014. Students, life expectancy refers to the average period that a person may expect to live. So with time, this has increased and this shows improvement in healthcare facilities. Number 2, IMR has come down from 147 in 1951 to 34 in 2016. Students, IMR stands for infant mortality rate and it indicates the number of children that die before the age of 1 year as a proportion of 1,000 live children born in that particular year. So in 1951, 147 children died before 1 year and that number came down to 34 in 2016. So again, this shows improvement in healthcare facilities. Number 3, crude birth rates have dropped to 20.4 and death rates have also dropped to 6.4. Students, crude birth rate refers to the total number of live births per 1,000 population during a particular period of time. And students, it is good that birth rate has declined as high birth rates may stress government welfare and family programs. And more importantly, it may cause overpopulation. But students, remember, birth rates should be controlled. That doesn't mean it should be very low, as that will also not be favorable for the country. Because I told you all that human resource is any day important for any country for its development. And talking about death rates, so it refers to the number of people who die per 1,000 population during a particular period of time. So students, with this, we are done with this chapter. We have completed chapter number 2, and in the next class, we will discuss question answers. So that's all for today. Thank you, students.